The problem isn't the problem. It may appear to be the problem, but if you went to the doctor and you said to the doctor, my shoulder hurts, he may say to you, the truth is it's not your shoulder, it's in your spinal column. You see, oftentimes what happens is we see symptoms, but there is a root of a problem that causes the symptom to become visual. And as a result of the visual symptom, if you're not careful, you'll begin to treat that, but it's really not the problem. It's the symptom of the problem. And so as a result of that, when we look at our families, I want you to understand that the problem may not really be the problem. If a child is acting out, a problem may occur somewhere deeper in their relationships. It may be bullying in their families. It may be feeling a sense of worthlessness. They may be contemplating suicide. They may be reaching out because of their actions. Do you understand what I'm trying to communicate to you this morning? That the problem may not be the problem. Instead of treating the symptom, let's get to the root of the issue. Let's get to the root of the issue. Let's dig down deeper than just the symptom. If you're not happy in your marriage, then it's not just simply because of her or him. Perhaps that is just the symptom of a deeper problem of trust and learning how to love and learning how to be vulnerable and learning how to communicate and learning how to walk together through life as a couple as opposed to being married and single. Problem is not the problem. Paul says it here in Ephesians 6, for we struggle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, against powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. That's what happened with Adam and Eve. The problem wasn't the problem. The problem was something much more deep than the problem. The problem when God came down and said, who told you you were naked? Who said? They said, oh, wait a second. You know, Adam really bailed out on that relationship, didn't he? Adam really bailed out, you know. He just didn't step up to the plate at all, Adam, that day. You know, maybe he was having a bad day, but when God asked him, he said, the woman, God, that you gave me. It wasn't me, it was her. The woman, right? He didn't even say it was my wife or my woman. He said, God, it was the woman that you gave me. I had nothing to do with it, God. Nothing. It's your problem. And God's like, look, come on, guys. You were together there. You understood what was going on. The problem is not the problem. The problem was that there are spiritual forces at work trying to separate you. Trying to separate you from God, trying to separate you from depth of relationships and connectedness. You see, the connectedness is something that God uses to heal us. When you're isolated, that's where you're perfect prey for the enemy. When you withdraw yourself and close the door and get in front of the computer and you begin to walk away from friendships and relationships, we were never meant to live in isolation. We were always meant to live in community. And in community, we find healing. And so as a result of that, the problem is not the problem. If you're isolated, if you're no longer talking to people, communicating with people that love you or you love, you've got to look deeper because the enemy wants to drive a wedge into your relationship with God first and then in your relationship with people that nurture you and encourage you and strengthen you and support you and love you. He wants that wedge driven so that way you'll become isolated and you'll become perfect prey for his plan.